in my behavior and the way that I deal with people, because we're taught by Islam to emulate Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So before Islam, I had all these other models, all these other people to try to model my life after. The latest fad, the latest fashion, the latest rock band or musical star or sports star. We all tried to follow them, to emulate them in order to be like them. But when I had a real model, a model sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
yes,
a guide for all of mankind.
Yes.
When I latched onto this model, then I started to see revolutionary changes within my life. Revolutionary changes within my own life. It was because of Islam that I became educated. It was because of Islam.
This is after Islam.
After
but before,
Islam.
don't you want to say something before Islam?
Before Islam, I can say that in one word.
Yes.
Lost.
La ilaha illallah.
Before
La ilaha illallah.
Islam, I was lost.
Say thanks for Allah for being a Muslim.
Thanks. I thank him so much every day for choosing me to be a Muslim. And
MashaAllah.
it's a great, wonderful journey.
MashaAllah. Dear audience, I think that we are enjoying a very spiritual speech with Mr. Musa Abdullah, our guest today in the studio. But let us continue our speech with him after having this short report. Stay with us, please.
Looking at the sky, so many million miles over space and time, there is only one girl. From a treetop towards the sunset.
The U.S. has always been described as a melting pot society, a microcosm of world cultures and religions. Muslim Americans are quickly becoming a prominent and important part of this ever-changing diverse mosaic. Although much media attention on this population has zeroed in on post-9/11 attitudes and relations, the history of Islam in America dates back generations. Dr. William Vendely is the Secretary General of the 40-year-old Religions for Peace Global Organization and has been working with Muslim American leaders for decades.
Very sincere, good Muslims have been in America from really its earliest days. It's really with the period of ending of the Cold War, where the population demography, the shape of our population began to shift so significantly that people began to recognize that Islamic leadership was part of this country at the community level, at the level of industry, at the level of the university, in medicine, in all sorts of ordinary ways of American life.
American Muslims come from various backgrounds, and according to a 2009 Gallup poll, are one of the most racially diverse religious groups in the country.
There really are two streams of Muslims in America. The first are African American Muslims. These are people that converted to Islam. The second stream are Muslims from everywhere else around the world. Every country of Islamic majority has sent people to America, and they're now Americans. Brilliantly, these Muslims in America are both being faithful to their Islamic heritage and also are living as Americans.
And the population continues to grow. While the first mosque was established in the U.S. in 1915, research shows that 87% of the over 1,200 mosques today were founded within the last 3 decades. This most recent surge, coupled with growing fears in the U.S. regarding terrorism and tense relations with the Middle East, has thrust Muslim Americans into the spotlight, many times in unflattering ways. But Dr. Vendely sees negative sentiments and actions as short-term obstacles to long-term acceptance of Muslims here in the U.S.
When I was a boy, John Kennedy was elected president, and suddenly Catholics got to go into the mainstream. Jews have had to find their way into the mainstream of America. Now Muslims are a growing population, and they too are going into the mainstream.
And as the holy month of Ramadan is observed by followers worldwide, American Muslims are quick to remind the rest of the world that no matter where they live, they will do whatever they can to adapt and hold on to their religious faith and traditions here in the U.S.
Family always sits on the table, more on Ramadan. We go to my cousin's house, you know, we eat there. We love inviting people to our houses because that's the time of the month where you would like to share and basically feel with one another about what Ramadan truly is.
A normal work day goes regular ways, not like overseas when they cut the day work or anything like this. It's different. Here everything's still the same. And after breaking breakfast, really nice. We come to the mosque, we're having a good time. And we watch the Salah Live from overseas also.
Similar to like back home. We visit each others in this month, you know what I mean? So, and you know, we have families coming over and we have a lot of, you know, because we have special suites here for Arabic communities, for Muslim communities. We have a lot of people coming, like after breaking fasting, they come eat sweet here and stuff like that, you know. Special month for us.
20 million miles over space and time, there is only one God.
Dear audience, welcome back to the studio with my guest in the studio, Mr. Musa Abdullah. He's telling us, of course, about his spiritual story, the story of converting to Islam. Yes, Mr. Musa, we would like to continue our speech about your marvelous story of becoming a Muslim with a new question that is wandering in my mind. It's about, of course, you mentioned the changes and the things and the benefits you got. But what about the difficulties you found after becoming a Muslim? And you think that most of the new Muslims and the new converters are just having and complaining from?
I did face a lot of difficulties.
Yes.
Initially, my family practically disowned me. And because, as I said, my family...
Till now?
No,
Yeah.
not now, but in the beginning, When I became a Muslim, when I converted to Islam, when I accepted Islam, it was a very, very rocky period in my life. My family practically disowned me. But right now, our relationship is very, very good.
How many years it took just to go back to the normal relations with your family?
Approximately 2 to 3 years after my conversion, because
You felt them hard or just
well, yeah, of course, it was very difficult.
without your family?
Yeah, my grandfather, I lived with my grandfather and my father, and I was a college student, so I stayed at home, and they helped me to get on my feet and obtain my education, and then right in the middle of all that, I converted to Islam.
Yeah.
So when when I told my parents, they found out by accident. One of my friends had informed them that I became a Muslim. I told them not to, don't say this to anyone.
So this was your secret, and your friend revealed the secret to your family after how many years or how many months?
No, 1 week. 1 week.
Just 1 week.
1 week. And they hit the roof, as we say in English. So
just for having a Muslim son.
From leaving, I think it was more because I left Christianity. Because I had to deny Christianity and the way that they believed in it in order to become a Muslim.
Yeah.
And as I said, very religious family, so my grandfather, he pulls out the Bible and he's going through verses, and my grandmother...
We're just trying to convince you to come back to your mind.
Right, come back to... My grandmother went and checked out books on Muhammad and read up on him. See, he's not a prophet. She tried to disprove that he was a prophet. And to make a long story short again, they said, leave our house. Leave our house. And at that time, our Islamic community, our Ummah in Akron, Ohio, was very small. It was in the budding stages, just beginning. And the Muslims, mashallah, they were there for me. They said, here, come live in the masjid.
MashaAllah.
So I moved into the masjid, and I stayed there for about 6 months. to
MashaAllah, in the masjid.
In the masjid.
You stayed in the masjid?
I stayed in the masjid for 6 months, and I went to school and came back and lived in the masjid, and they taught me how to pray. They taught me everything.
So it was a very good chance, by the way.
Absolutely, because I learned the foundation.
It helped you a lot when you are just, all your time is in the masjid. You have the opportunity to meet Muslims people, to know about their behaviors. You have the chance to read so many books about Islam. You have to just, you have the chance to meet those religious men of Islam, to teach you more about the right principles and the right pillars of Islam.
Yeah.
Just to be away from being deceived by the others.
Absolutely, and that gave me my foundation. And incidentally, one of the first brothers that taught me about Islam is living here in Riyadh, and I met him here in Riyadh by accident, probably 3 months ago.
Subhanallah. He was with you in the States?
He's the one who said move into the masjid. And
Allahu Akbar, the one who offered you the residency in the masjid.
And he taught me everything about how to make wudu, how to pray.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
He's here, he works in King Saud University, he's a PhD in chemistry, I think. But he's here, and I saw him at King Saud University.
He remembered you?
Yeah, he said Musa.
Oh,
and
Allahu Akbar.
And I turned around, and his brother, the good brother's name's Fakir, and he's there, and he's here right now. But yeah, that's it was very difficult in the beginning, because when you're separated from your family, and we're a tight-knit family, so when you're separated...
So it was just your family? It was the first difficulty you faced, or you found?
No, not only family, but I faced other difficulties, like I said.
What about the community around you?
The Muslim community, mashallah, very awesome in America. It's kind of different here than Saudi Arabia. We have more, I think, community, where the Muslims, they gather, especially like on Jummah. The Friday is like a big festival almost.
Inshallah.
At most of the masajids
It's
and
actually
mosques.
our festival, our Eid.
Yeah.
Jummah. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like Eid, but in America it's like that every Friday, it seems like, because all the Muslims, they come together to the masjid and they stay all day pretty much on Friday.
Yeah.
You know, if they go to work and then they come back, they bring their children and they let their children be free and have fun, and they're attending lectures and and praying. And so like in Ramadan, we have, you know, the iftar dinner we have every day, and
fast dinner.
But
can you remember the first Ramadan you fasted?
Oh man, it was hot and it was summer, and I kept looking at my watch, and they're like, okay, brother, just calm down, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to...
Who joined you? Just the brother in the masjid, or?
Yeah, it was just the brothers in the masjid. But, you know, when you've never fasted before, and you have to fast
it's very hard with these weather circumstances.
It was hot. It was a summertime fast, my first one. But I made it, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I fasted and I made it.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. The first Eid, you have the manifestations for Eid there in the USA?
Yeah, we had a small masjid, but the Eid, again, so beautiful. The first Eid, Eid al-Fitr.
Your first Eid was when you were away of your family, when you was away from your family?
Away from my family. Away from my family. And it was a sad time, but I had another family.
Yeah.
And I always tell new Muslims that when they become Muslim, when they convert, I said, don't worry, now you have 1 billion brothers and sisters in Islam. And
it means that Allah covered you with His mercy by sending you all those brothers and sisters.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Inshallah. Inshallah, la quwwata illa billah.